shame on them. Shame on them. How grim can you get? How low can you go? Using an unprecedented disaster.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the latest controversy surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Their recent visit to the LA wildfire disaster zone has sparked major outrage, with critics branding them disaster tourists. Were they really there to help, or was this just another desperate PR move?
In California, to reboot their own Netflix series and to brief the paparazzi so that they can get some positive coverage. Honestly, just when I think Prince Harry and Meghan Markle cannot stoop any lower, they manage to do so. Perhaps the only thing that has given me some heart is that the Hollywood elite are seeing through this absolute revolting performance. Justine Bateman, the actress, posted on X, Meghan Markle and Harry are no better than ambulance chasers. What a repulsive photo op they achieved. They are touring the damage. Are they politicians now? They don't live here. They are tourists. Disaster tourists. And in fact, the Sussex visit has raised the ire of many locals. Jack Poso posted on X, imagine losing everything in a fire and then having to put up with Meghan Markle on top of it. According to Taz, wrote, I couldn't imagine going to such a devastated area where people have lost absolutely everything, some even their lives, and then want to pose for a group photo. It's not exactly a time for a one of the photo album moment, is it? And of course it's not. Of course it's not.
Let's break it all down. But first, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Harry and Meghan were spotted touring wildfire-affected areas in California, with cameras rolling and a full security entourage in tow. Social media exploded, with many calling them out for using a devastating tragedy as a photo op. Actress Justine Bateman didn't hold back.
And you could actually see when they were posing for those pictures that Meghan, there she is, organizing, making sure, let me be in the middle, let me put on my smiling face. And that is why now people are actually spoofing this idea of the title of her Netflix series, With Love, Meghan, with the fire on in the background. Because Meghan and Harry thought that they were saving their reputations, using a disaster to save their reputations. In fact, they have done quite the opposite. So I want to head stateside now and join Brittany, editor of the Royal News Network. And Brittany, the outrage over Harry and Meghan's crass use of this natural disaster seems to be growing there by the hour. What is the latest?
Tweeting that the couple is no better than ambulance chasers. Ouch. And it didn't stop there. Many locals were furious, with one person even saying, imagine losing everything in a fire and then having to deal with Meghan Markle posing in the rubble. What do you think?
But when it comes to Harry and Meghan, I mean, they're absolutely shameless in this particular instance because this has been an absolute disaster and they have not responded, really, you could say, in any way other than to go there and get a photo shoot. And it's like, how are you helping? They don't even have the infrastructure themselves or even the money to be as helpful as somebody like Elon Musk, who is also apparently there and giving people and like city officials like Teslas and different things to charge batteries.
Yeah, and by the way,
Starlink
not calling the paparazzi, Brittany,
Exactly.
to say, oh, I'm going to be
Exactly.
here at this moment. Make sure you capture it.
Yes, and if you listen to the video from the local Fox station, they say we were alerted to their presence. And I'm like, I bet it was their own team who let them know that they were there because it's all about getting attention for it because a lot of celebrities have donated. We just heard Beyonce donated 2.5 million, but she's not going there, especially right now, given the disaster, the situation that it's just sort of the immediacy of it. You don't really need Harry and Meghan there. And you especially do not need them taking city officials and being given a tour around somebody's burned out home. Like, do those people know they were there? Do they know they were there so Harry and Meghan can feel bad? It's like, that's somebody's life that you're traipsing around and not really seeming to give any sort of care. I just think it's absolutely despicable.
And of course, they made that demand, didn't they? Acting as if they are still some royal family members, which they're not, by the way. And they made that demand, open up your houses to people. And do we know if they've opened up theirs? Of course we don't. What was so astonishing, though, Brittany, is because the relationship between Harry and Meghan is so fraught, even in front of the cameras, they were unable to put their personal differences to one side, which I found astonishing. I want to show you a couple of videos, and I'll get you to comment as we go along. So first, there was this video of Harry very clearly walking away from Meghan and looking really annoyed, Brittany.
Was this a case of good intentions gone wrong, or a calculated PR stunt? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Critics say the entire visit felt staged, especially with Meghan making sure she was front and center in every shot. It's been reported that their own team tipped off the paparazzi about their visit. If true, that's a really bad look. Compare this to someone like Elon Musk.
There you can see he sort of storms off. There's also another moment where Harry looks incredibly unhappy as Meghan hugs someone. Look at his face, Brittany. What did you make of that?
Well, it could be, I mean, to me, I always feel like sometimes Meghan hugging is part of the performance, that she needs to perform and hug somebody to look empathetic. And that could be what he's thinking there. But to be fair, that it is a very emotional moment there, so he might be reacting to something else. But when it comes to walking away, the whole walking away situation was very bizarre because he walked away way ahead of her. She was, I think, trying to do something, like she was meandering around trying to, I think, look helpful for the cameras, but she didn't really have anything to do. At one point, she was interacting with her bodyguard, and I'm like, well, you don't really need to be interacting with him. They had, like, I think 4 bodyguards, their own personal security around them. And it's like, so you need to bring all this security just to volunteer and help? I mean, granted, it is sort of an evolving situation, but the whole thing seemed very self-serving. It was entirely self-serving. And when it comes to even their communications, I find that to be very fractured. Like, they're posting simultaneously the same things on both of their websites, Archewell and Sussex. And I'm like, why? Because isn't the whole thing is that you should only post on one side at a time? And then you have the strange thing of when it came to posting about Guy, it seemed like Harry didn't even exist. Like, it was just her dog. She mentioned him once, just using his initial, and it just seemed like it was her dog and her grief. So I really feel like there's sort of even a separation growing in their communications, and there's some sort of maybe breakdown happening behind the scenes, because I find the whole thing very bizarre.
Well, look at this video where Meghan is clearly unhappy at Harry hugging someone. Look at her face there.
Who reportedly donated resources quietly without calling the press. Meanwhile, Meghan and Harry were out there, shaking hands, smiling for photos, and waving to the cameras like it was a red carpet event. Not exactly the right tone for a disaster zone. If you're enjoying this deep dive, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more royal news.
That is the face that people like me know well, because she just cannot hide it from the cameras. And I also thought it was particularly grim, the way that they walked away from the cameras, Brittany, and waved as if this was some sort of red carpet event. It's like they never get the tone right. You have no official role. And it's very, very weird. I also wanted to show you this other moment, which was picked up by Princess Carparkle, who wrote, and I'll just set it up from this tweet. This is funny. Princess Markle, and they're obviously saying Princess Markle because that's what the American broadcasters responded to them, goes to grab Prince Doofus's hand, but he's really not having it and is ready to hug a lamppost if it'll give him an excuse to let go. This kind of discombobulates Princess Markle, so she starts nervously and aimlessly wandering, looking for someone whose space she can invade. It's fascinating. So that's the setup. Let's have a look at this video, Brittany, and see if you agree. with what's going on, because certainly there was a lot of uncomfortable interaction, wasn't there?
There was. And it's so bizarre how they act of all the hand holding all the time because it's like, this is a disaster zone. Are you on a date? You don't really need to be hand holding as you're walking. Ray, Harry's weird wave. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like he almost doesn't know what to do. But I think he is sometimes does get frustrated with the constant clinginess of her. She constantly has to cling
Mm.
to him. Even in that video of them walking away, he has to switch hands so she can hold the other hand. And I'm like, why? You just go and comfort the woman. Why are you constantly need to hold his hand too while you're doing it? It's just sort of very bizarre behavior. But I think there's definitely just seems to be, I would go back to that CBS interview in August. Like there definitely seems to be sort of a fracture that's starting to occur and things aren't moving or
Footage from their visit shows Harry walking away from Meghan, looking visibly frustrated. Another clip captured Meghan trying to hold his hand, only for Harry to awkwardly pull away. People are speculating. Is there tension behind the scenes? Some say Meghan's constant need to be the center of attention is wearing on Harry.
happening as smoothly as they did before. And Harry's kind of like, okay, I'm done with some of this hand holding stuff. You can talk to somebody else now because there are bigger issues here than you needing to hold somebody's hand.
Oh, big time. But you know, this was all about appealing to the mainstream media, Brittany, and I think it is worth looking at how the visit was covered by the American outlets who, I mean, look, these guys are very woke. They're very woke. They don't know what's going on. And they do start referring to Meghan as Princess Markle. Watch this.
They just arrived here not that long ago, and we were alerted to the fact that they were here. Earlier today, we also had an opportunity to grab first partner Jennifer Siebel Newsom, who was also giving out food. You see, there we have a better shot of Princess Markle as Meghan, as she's wearing that LA ball cap and talking to some of the volunteers. Not a lot of big fanfare for their arrival, obviously. I'm sure they just wanted to come and offer support and well wishes as they are hanging out with the commoners, I guess. That's one way to put it, huh, Marla?
Yeah.
And again, I just see the backside of Chef Jose Andres, whose World Central Kitchen has been so generous in making sure that evacuees have food and first responders as well. Other than what you see, I don't.
Let me just
Sure.
tell you this, Susan. So, Prince Harry and the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, they've already opened their home, $14 million home, by the way, in Montecito, which is, 90 miles north of the Palisades. They've opened their home to their friends who have, been forced to evacuate. Which, isn't surprising, makes sense. But they also have their Archwell Foundation, named after their son Archie. And they're determining the most impactful ways to support those in need right now. So in addition to, I'm sure, working with Jose Andres and figuring out how they can help, they do have the Archwell Foundation. And they're trying to figure out, how best can we give back.
Others think he's just tired of the endless PR stunts. Whatever the case, their body language was off and the internet noticed. Let me know in the comments. Do you think their marriage is strained? Or are people reading too much into it? If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more updates because this royal drama is far from over. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.